Oh, I'm live. I think I'm all set, honey.
All set?
Yeah.
Technology.
Sorry, guys, I'm a little
working.
tardy. Welcome to Wellness Wednesday. Bye, Brian. Oh, it's so nice to have.
Wi-Fi Wednesday.
It's Wi-Fi Wednesday. Thank you, sweetie. It's so nice to have in-house tech support. I'm married well. Hi, everybody. It's so good to see you. I think we have another guest. Lola's joining us for today. We're just going to keep it really casual. Oh my goodness, Trinidad and Tobago. So many people. Let me know where you're from. Tell me in the comments. I'm so happy you joined us again. Sorry, I was a little late. I was having some internet issues, but that's okay. So today I want to talk to you about a couple of things, and I had an insight thanks to our 7-day self-care challengers, but also some things that have been coming up for me, and it's about the energy of pushing and forcing and, running yourself ragged and saying things like, this isn't happening fast enough. So we're going to talk about that in a minute, but look at all of you. Milwaukee's here, Victoria, BC is here, Montana's here, Norway's here. Hi, everybody. San Diego, good morning. But anyway, so we just wrapped our 7-day self-care challenge. I hope that you joined us. We had a beautiful Facebook group with thousands of people in it, and you may have followed along just on my regular social media channels, and I hope that you did, or that you got to spend the time with us. And we do this a couple times a year. It's a free group, and today we are just celebrating wins and looking back at the 7 days and really savoring the time that we had together in community, but also the time that we took practicing self-care. And people are sharing their ahas and, any special insights that they got from this experience. And they're also celebrating each other and the new friendships that they've made. And there's a couple things that have come up in the group, one of which gave me part of the idea for our live today. The first is that a little goes a long way. And so in a world where we're always looking to optimize everything and we're looking for the next hack or trick or secret to crush something, we forget the basics. And oftentimes coming back to the basics is what brings us back home to ourselves, as I like to say. And those basics of self-care are about my 5 pillars of wellness: being mindful and gentle and loving, but mindful and thoughtful about what you're eating, drinking, thinking, and how you're resting and renewing. And so over the course of the 7 days, my team and I designed something that folks could do in less than 10 minutes. And if you joined us, then you know. Or, not more than 10 minutes, like maybe took a little longer to make a smoothie. And the whole point of that is to show that a little does go a long way. Oftentimes, we think we have to be making a wholesale renovation of our lives, and we forget that if we just tuck ourselves in a little earlier, or drink that glass of water instead of the soda or the wine or whatever it is, or move our body for 15 minutes if that's all we have the energy for or the time for, those micro actions will really take us far. And I think it's about the consistency of those practices that really takes our self-care and our self-love to the next level. So it's been beautiful to see how people have really embraced it and also shared that aha of like, oh my gosh, I didn't have to do as much as I thought I would have to do to feel better. And so I just wanted to share that with you, that a little does go a long way. So if you say today, oh, I don't have time for this, or I don't have time for that, could you give yourself just a little bit of care, just a little bit of love, just a little bit of tenderness and self-nurturing? Because again, it will take you far. And I can come on every Wellness Wednesday and just say the same thing over and over again and remind y'all and remind myself, because oftentimes I need to remember too, I teach everything I need to remember and learn. And so the other thing that came up, which is going to lead us into our topic today, is people feeling more patient with themselves. And we have a lot of patients in our group, but also folks who are not patients, and being patients. We're all patients in some way, I suppose. but being more patient with ourselves and not pushing ourselves and running ourselves into the ground, or having that energy of, this isn't happening fast enough. And this has been a powerful lesson for me throughout my healing journey, throughout my journey as an entrepreneur, throughout my journey as, just a human being. Oftentimes I feel like life isn't happening fast enough. Careful what you wish for, my friend. But in this past couple of weeks, I've had that story come up again, and I wanted to share why with you. So I was thinking I wouldn't tell you this, but then I decided, well, why not? We're all friends. I need to share what's going on. So I'm working on a few new projects in this time of quarantine. I've done a lot of personal pivots in my life, and also some pivots in my business, and I've been focusing on the things that really matter more and the things that move the needle in both of those areas. And so one of the projects that I'm working on, and it's a professional project, but really it is a personal project, are you ready? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to say the thing. I'm writing a new book. Ooh. I'm writing a book, and I'll just be honest, it's scary to put that out there because it's been 6 years since I've written a book. And I love all the books that I've written. Well, I guess the results journal really is a book. So, but maybe you know what I'm saying. It's been a long time since I've written a traditional book, be it a cookbook or a health book or whatever it is. And I have a title for it, but I'm not going to share that just yet because I want to keep that private because it's still really precious. So we have to keep our precious babies close to our hearts. We have to keep them close like good parents, We got to hug them and nurture them. They're not ready to go out in the world yet. So I'm not going to share that. So right now, I'm just calling it the Unicorn Project. That's the working title. It's the Unicorn Project. And let me just make sure that I am still clear. We see you. That's fantastic. Okay, team, keep letting me know because I'm not sure what's going on with the internet. Thank you. So here I am working on the Unicorn Project, and I'm in the outline form of it. And I have some desires about when I'd like to sell the book. And the other day I said to myself, this isn't going fast enough. I'm not moving quickly enough. This is taking too long. This isn't happening fast enough. And here's the thing I know about when we say that, whether we say it about our careers or our romances or our healing journey. Oftentimes for patients, this is a big one that can come up in the healing journey because you just want it behind you and you just want this in the rear view and you don't want a new normal. You want to go back to the old normal, which maybe wasn't so normal after all. But when we say and we affirm this isn't happening fast enough, we actually affirm it and it takes longer. So when we affirm that it isn't happening fast enough, the thing that we desire can often take longer, and not in a joyful way, not in a nourishing or productive way, in a way that creates stagnation and dis-ease in our hearts and minds and bodies. So that energy of pushing and forcing and that impatience, what it does is it blocks our flow. It blocks the creative flow, it blocks the healing flow, it just limits our magic. And it also, for me, especially when I'm talking about creativity and writing, it closes the channel to my higher self or the divine, which is where a lot of inspiration and wisdom comes through for me. And I bet for you too, because all of you are so creative. I know this to be true. So one of the things that I had been doing, and I am doing, and I think that was part of it is taking a little longer, is when I came here to Florida to be close to my parents, I brought a bin full of the last three journals. Three journals. I wish. 3 years of journals. Because these last 3 years have been really big years for me for a lot of different reasons. And I brought them because when I do long form journaling, there's just a lot of flow that happens, especially when the channel that I talked about is open. And there's so many nuggets in there. There's so much juice, not just for the book, but for my own personal development. And there was a part of me that was thinking, you need to read faster, you need to process this faster, you need to get this done faster so that the outline can be done. But when you're looking back on your life and you're doing this healing work, shit doesn't happen fast. And if it does, I feel like oftentimes, unless it's destined to, but if we're pushing, what we're doing is we are, again, blocking that magic, and we're limiting our healing potential. We're limiting our creative potential. Because what happens in that place is that we feel restriction, we feel inflammation, we feel tension, we even feel isolation. And so let me know in the comments if this is resonating with you. If you, I think it is. If you understand where I'm coming from, or if you've had experiences like this, if you're with me. Yeah, okay, awesome. I'm not alone. That's so powerful. I'm happy to know that I'm not alone. I'm happy to be in community with you all. And I just want to talk about healing for a minute, because yes, I'm talking about creativity. It's like when we try to push the river, that's not possible. Or when I love gardening, and when we go into our gardens and we look at the kale plant, and we can be impatient with the kale plant and say, grow, you effer. Grow. You are not growing fast enough. I have a kale salad I want to make. I want to put you in a smoothie. I want to do all these things, and you are not getting done on my timeline. What's that plant going to do? That plant is looking at you saying, really? Get back in and do some work, my friend, because this is not how the process unfolds with grace and ease and in the seasons that are the seasons of our life. So taking this time right now to explore the journals, there have been times when I've needed to take a nap. And sometimes I've given myself that opportunity, and other times I haven't. I've just kept pushing forward. Or there's been times when I've really felt waves and waves of emotions that come up as I'm looking back on the words that I'm writing. And if I can't allow myself that opportunity to feel and heal, then I have no business writing a book where I would ask you to do the same. So this has been a really juicy time. I don't love it, I'll be honest. It's been hard, but it's been what's necessary. It's a necessary part of this process. So I wanted to share that with you, and also to go a little deeper, because when we look underneath what's coming up, underneath the bubbles and the troubles, when we look underneath, there's always something there. And for me, that's something, when I look underneath, well, what's really going on under the surface of this isn't happening fast enough? What's the emotion? What's the feeling? What's going on in my body? What are the sensations? What's happening? And we can breathe and be present with that as opposed to rushing on. What I realized, it's the energy of anxiety. And something that my brilliant therapist, Carol, talks about when it comes to anxiety is anxiety can manifest in two forms. You're either blocked or driven. I'm sure there's many other ways, but when she talks about it, I feel very, it really resonates with me. So anxiety for me will manifest through drive, not through paralysis. It'll manifest through doubling down, pushing harder, going faster, eking out a little bit more, put in another hour, how about another 10? That's how I deal with my anxiety oftentimes. And to actually just be with that energy as opposed to trying to drive through it is a challenge for me. And oftentimes how I do that is just by stopping. I don't have a remedy for you. I don't have a formula in this Wellness Wednesday, but it's just by stopping and saying, what's underneath this feeling? Oh, it's anxiety. I am going into that hyperdrive mode because I have anxiety. And then spending some time tapping. I love you, Terry Cole. Thank you for sharing that. Terry said underneath it might be fear, right? And then a lot of people are understanding and feeling like this is so helpful. Thank you, you guys. And sharing also some wonderful feedback and some great, what's the word I'm looking for? Guidance in the comments. So make sure you check it out. So for me, in that moment, it would be, I might turn to my friend Terry, who just posted a comment, give her a call and say, do you have a second? I need to talk. Or to move through that driven feeling and get back into my center, I might practice some EFT, emotional freedom technique. If you don't know my friends Nick and Jessica Ortner, check them out. They have a beautiful app, tapping solution app. It might be to do some tapping practices, or I might open one of my guided meditations. I don't often meditate to my own voice. I'm glad that so many of you do and that you enjoy my voice. For me, it's not always as soothing, but occasionally I might open one of mine or one of my other treasured meditations. So whatever you do, it's about breathing through and moving through that surge of anxiety, that surge of cortisol, that surge of emotion that often keeps us either moving or frozen. Either this isn't happening fast enough, or I need to totally shut down, right? But we don't need to push ourselves into overwhelm and hyperdrive and exhaustion. And we certainly don't want to shut down in paralysis and stagnation. So instead, we get that choice. And the choice is, I know you, I see you, I have my tools. My tools are the breath, first awareness, then the breath or tapping or meditation or calling your good pal or whatever it is, going for a walk, and moving through the surge of those feelings. Because on the other side is you getting back into your groove, you getting back into the pocket, you getting back into the zone of whatever it is you're doing, whether it is your healing practice, your self-care practice. For me, it is the writing practice right now. So those little steps that I just shared with you help to clear your energy. Where to find your meditation? You could just go to my website, chriscar.com. There's lots of meditations there. Thank you for asking. I hope you enjoy it. So clearing that energy gets you back to your work, your personal work, your life's work, whatever it is. And I wanted to share that with you because I'm in the thick of it right now. And I also wanted to share that I'm writing another book, because if I say it to you, it's real. The Unicorn Project rides on. So, I want to wrap by just saying thank you for spending this time with me, and also talking about the power of community. I shared at the top of this Wellness Wednesday that we just finished our 7-day self-care challenge. And if you joined us, I hope you enjoyed it and you got big medicine insights just like I just did and shared. And if you didn't get a chance to join us, we do these free challenges once or twice a year. So we'll likely do it again, probably this fall sometime, or maybe early winter. And if you'd like to be a part of my Inner Circle Wellness membership community, enrollment is open. There are lots of goodies and lots of powerful experiences that you get as a part of that community. And I won't go into them here because I'm not going to share all that with you right now. But if you're interested, you can click the link in the post, or you can go to chriscar.com/inner circle. We'd love to have you. And I'll just close out by saying I'm thinking about you, and I'm so appreciative of the time that we get to spend together. I hope you have a wonderful day filled with ease, no pushing, no being overdriven or paralyzed with fear or doubt or whatever it is. Just being with yourself, coming back home to yourself, breathing through those surges so that you can carry on, my friends. I will see you next week, okay? Bye.